So good afternoon and thanks for coming. My name is Peter Zagorski and I'm one of the senior tech officers within the regulation and tech section of the VBA. I'm breaking this session down into three parts. The first will be the changes to the VCA, the second will be changes to the Australian standards, and the third will be changes to the variations to the NCC and also some regulatory changes that we've had to do. As we go through the slides, you'll see a little icon at the bottom, blue for volume 1, red for volume 2, and yellow for the guide. So on each slide, when it references both, you'll see both icons. It only references one, or only be one icon. And you're all aware that this all started a couple of weeks ago on the 1st of May, so you all should be using the 2014 VCA. All right, let's get into the changes. The first change, is an amendment to expand the current concession for clause 3, 10 and 4.3 of specification C 1.1, which permits timber frame construction for class 2 buildings. And this is now being moved in to allow the concession to go to class 3 buildings, subject to the limitations and other requirements of that concession. For those who are not familiar with the concession, this allows a low-rise class 2 and now class 3 building, which are required to be of type A and type B construction, to be constructed with timber framing instead of concrete or masonry. Whether this concession can be applied is dependent on a number of factors which vary for the type of construction, and these factors can include the rise in story, fire resistance of certain firewalls and floors, non-combustibility of installation, and the installation of certain fire safety systems. Another significant change that happened this year relates to the inclusion of an exemption for the installation of fire hose reels in certain class 2, 3 and 4 parts of the building. As a result of this new exemption, E 1.4 has been amended. New requirements have been included at E 1.6 for portable fire extinguishers in the class 2, 3 or 4 part of the building, and G 4.8 has been amended to relocate previous concessions for the installation of fire hose reels in class 2 or 3 buildings, class 4 parts of the building, as fire hose reels were required, are still required to be installed in these classes when they're in alpine areas. So we'll discuss these amendments over the next couple of slides. Firstly, a new subclause 4 has been included at E 1.4a to exempt class 2, 3 and 4 parts of the building from installing fire hose reels. This exemption has been included in recognition of the risks faced by occupants when using fire hose reels to fight fires in the class 2 or 3 sole occupancy unit. Those risks included that a fire hose reel assumes a type A fire risk, so it doesn't include electrical or oil-based fires, and a fire hose reel also compromises the sole occupancy unit by having a hose running through the door, jamming the door open, so that's a compromise to the other sole occupancy units. So to ensure that at least an equivalence level of fire safety is provided, new requirements for portable fire extinguishers have been included at E 1.6. The new requirement at E 1.6 requires portable fire extinguishers to be provided to serve the whole of the class 2 or 3 or 4 part of the building, where one or more internal fire hydrants are installed, or where internal fire hydrants are not installed, to serve any fire compartment of a sole occupancy unit with a floor area of greater than 500 metres squared. The trigger for the installation of portable fire extinguishers are consistent with those that was previously required for hose reels in those classes of buildings. This means that where a fire hose reel was previously required, portable fire extinguishers are now proposed to be installed. E 1.6 includes a new subclause B, which details specific types and sizes and locations requirements for portable fire extinguishers. in the class 2, 3 or 4 parts of the building. The requirements include that the extinguisher must be an ABE type extinguisher, which is to ensure that you get protection from class A fire risks as well as electrical and oil-based fire risks. Be a minimum size of 2.5 kilograms, which is considered appropriate for initial attack by the occupant, and be distributed outside the SOU so that they serve the story that they're located on, and so the distance of travel from the door of the sole occupancy unit is not more than 10 metres to an extinguisher. So this, this slide represents a typical distribution of the previously required hose reel requirements. With the proposed change, fire hose reels are no longer required to be installed. Instead, you have the fire extinguishers located not more than 10 metres away from the SOU. The next change to VBA 2014 is the new definition both for Volume 1 and Volume 2, which applies alarms in a Class 1 building and SOUs of Class 2, 3 or Class 4 parts of the building to have interconnected smoke alarms. When once one alarm is activated, it will activate all the other alarms within the building or the SOU. This feature will increase the likelihood of occupants have been aware of the presence of a fire. In SOUs of Class 2 or 3 buildings, there is an option to install other alarms in accordance with AS 1670.1, such as heat alarms. These alarms must also be interconnected with all traditional smoke alarms. To effect this change, specification E2.2 now refers to alarms rather than smoke alarms. To illustrate how this provision will work, consider a Class 1 building, multiple stories. Each smoke alarm within the building is required to be interconnected. We have fire going, all the alarms will be activated. In a Class 1B building, a similar thing will apply, and we activate the fire and all the alarms will be activated, being interconnected. The same thing applies within a sole occupancy unit of a Class 2 or 3 building. So when there is a fire, the alarms will then activate. Keep in mind they'll activate from the heat alarms as well.